Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
Bam! That's me. Good evening, and again, welcome to Swim, S-W-Y-M. That is the swimming pool. SWIM is the acronym for Say What You Mean. It's very important that you do that. Oftentimes, it doesn't happen. And, I don't know, it's too bad. I guess in some cases, I have to wait until I'm a grandpa to realize how many situations people don't say what they mean and they don't mean what they say. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm just going to say, maybe when I get to heaven, I can ask, God, because I think I'm going to make it, why did you make me like that? To really care and to really hold people to what they say. And for me to even be that kind of, person. I haven't always been that way. I've been kind of lackadaisical and even lazy in some cases, where I say I'll put it off till tomorrow, or I'll tell somebody I'm going to do something, or I'll say something, anything. And I haven't always, stuck to my guns and did everything I said. But there's this saying that goes like this: when you know better, you can do better. And the more I know, the better I try to do. So at this point and stage in my life this season, I try to make sure that I am on point, on time. I'm doing what I'm saying what I'm doing. And I don't know, maybe that's why I am, pushing this agenda of saying what you mean and meaning what you say. There's a whole lot more information on that. I won't get into it. I'll get right into it. And I promise you, I think in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be long gone. A couple of things. I want to talk about this folding chair thing that's been sweeping the internet. It was 2 days, and it wasn't until today that I actually, hey, Christine, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It wasn't until today that I figured out what actually happened. There was a fight in Alabama, Montgomery, I think, and, it involves the group of black folk and white folk. I guess that's how they're describing it. And it was incredible, to see. I watch stuff on the internet all the time. I'm not too much of a frequent internet, what do you call it? Well, I occasionally pass by and I'll stop on some stuff. I'll scroll through and I'll watch, and you see this kind of stuff all the time. And not everything goes viral, but this thing has really gone viral. And for a few days, well, the last 2 days anyway, I had no clue what was going on. And today I got, the skinny on what it was about. And although I saw the jokes, and even after I found out, what happened with as much detail as I could get, I saw a lot of jokes. People are making jokes about it, and it's just like anything else. It's, if you can find a humor, they say, laugh to keep from crying. But as I was building up to finding out exactly what it was about, and then I watched it and I listened to it, and I watched a couple of different people, have their opinion about it. And there's one thing about it that I can say that may be different from me than anyone else. What's up, T. Morrow? How you doing? Anthony Morrow and Christina with me, and at least one other person I appreciate, whether you're listening now. Anyway, when I saw that, this is what's different about me. I didn't think it was funny at all. Nothing about it made me laugh. I didn't chuckle not one time. And I've probably seen it 3 or 4 times, and I've heard about it at least 10 times from a few different people. Some people serious, some people are laughing. But, many people are really making a joke of it. And I guess it can be funny, and maybe one day I'll be able to laugh about it. But there's nothing about anything that I saw, especially the chair, that was funny to me. And maybe I'm just an old fogey. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's just my personality. I don't know. But it's not funny. And you will not find me making any joke about it or taking any sides. Now, I will say this. Maybe I'm taking a little side. You can't be hitting people, and you can't go against rules, you can't do that. So I can at least say I can see why it may have gotten sparked and even heated and even overheated and even burned down. But it's not funny to me at all. And I'm sorry, for everyone involved. I wish that had not happened. And I'm hoping that at some point in time, everybody, especially my fellow American brothers and sisters, I hope we can find a way to learn something from that, black and white, whatever ethnicity you represent. As humans, we have to do a little better when it comes to solving conflict. Now, don't get me wrong. Every situation can't be solved, and some things, have to be solved in certain ways. And clearly that was one that got out of hand. But maybe it's giving room to what it is that I'm trying to bring awareness to. How we listen, how we hear, how we respond to information. Now, I don't know what was said, but according to the video I watched, somebody was trying to talk. Somebody should have been listening. And when that doesn't happen, you get alcohol, egos, anger and hate involved. And that's what you get. So as much as I could spend a lot of time on it, I won't. I'll just say, I hope in the end we can all learn something from that situation and it doesn't become, as bad as it looks. And that's just where I'll leave it. It's not funny at all. I'm sorry it happened. And that's it. So I'll leave it there. And I'm going to go on to part 2. And I'm going to definitely get out of here within 20 minutes, as I said. It's been a rough week for me. This is the season that I really, really wish. I had my mother. My mother transitioned in 2009. And of course, I was a strong boy then, and I didn't get to, do a whole lot of crying because, I knew my mother had some challenges in leading up to the time she transitioned. Somewhere in my kind of thinking, I was kind of sort of preparing myself, and I did a lot of crying and loving on my mother before she transitioned. But when she transitioned, it was almost typical of what sometimes families do. But, my brothers and sisters, we came together, and my mother, as, we say back in my culture, my mother was put away pretty nice. And what I remember is not having the desire, to play, because my brothers and sisters were saying, well, you're going to play a song? You're going to play a song? Because, of course, as the musician in the family, everybody expects me to do, the music. And sometimes I just want to partake, like when there's a wedding, I don't want to play all the time. When there's a funeral, I don't want to play all the time. And when there's a party, let me enjoy. But I had said no up until the day before. And it's like, I think I should do this. And I played 3 songs. I remember those songs. I know that my mother enjoyed hearing me play those songs. And I played those songs, during her service. And I think each song was about 4.5. One song is like 6 minutes, but 3.5 to 5 minutes, with the exception of the actual 6-minute song. And I was doing really good the first 30 seconds. But all 3 of those songs, there wasn't, a dry eye. in the whole place, including me. But somehow or another, I was able to get through those songs, and that was my tribute to my mother. And that's what I hold on to whenever I get sometimes down and sad. I'm kind of sort of something might be flying in my eye right now. But back to my point, over the past few weeks, I've been thinking about my mother, as I always do. But I really wish I could hear from her now, but I can't. So what I have to do is remember what she would say and how she would respond to what I would share with her that's going on in my life today. And regardless if I could come up with the exact words or anything close, I know that she always had something for me that made me feel better when I left her or when I hung up the phone. So when I get offline and I go to bed tonight, I'm going to have maybe a few more moments of my sadness, but I'm going to remember what she would say to me. And, hopefully I'll, get past this season that I'm in right now. But I just shared that, and I'm not sure why, but I wanted to talk about what I have been fortunate and honored to be able to do. Over the past couple of months, I've been petitioned, by a family that's been asking me to mentor some youngsters. And I got my first opportunity on yesterday to mentor a little 10-year-old. And we have set up for the next 8 weeks, at least, once a week, to sit and chat for 30 to 45 minutes, just to give insight, listen, and hear. And I don't know why I'm called into this season of doing that, but people like to talk to me most of the times, people that want it straight. But I had the honor of having the impressionable mind and ear of a 10-year-old. And we did go 54 minutes because it was our first time. And again, I was saying to, the family, I'm not a therapist at all. And we are documenting everything, but they just think that I would have a good impression on them. And the first session went fine. The kid thinks I'm cool. And, they're all willing to listen to me. But I'm going to be doing that over the next 8 weeks at least, mentoring, some kids. And I have my first impressionable mind. I'll say that. I won't even say student. And it's going to be exciting because I can tell the kid is listening and, paying attention. And I'm getting engaged too because I'm listening with a different kind of ear. I'm hearing, and imagining my 10-year-old self for one, and what I was thinking, feeling, and going through and trying to put myself in that place. But it's going to be exciting to be able to share from my heart, listening to this innocent voice of this kid and maybe shedding some good light. And we talked about, of course, hearing and listening and responding as opposed to reacting. So, with that being said, that's all I have to say for tonight. Here's hoping you're having a wonderful season, whatever season you're in. Hoping you're staying cool because the weather has been hot. And take care. Drink plenty of fluids, water in particular, and try not to be in the sun too long. But with that being said, that's it. The chair was not funny. I still can't find the energy to laugh. And, missing my mom. I wish she was here. But it's okay. I'll be all right. I've seen myself get through many tough times. And the truth of the matter is I'm okay. Just got to get through some stuff. My son told me the other day, Dad, we've had it worse. Okay? So just, pick that big head up and walk straight. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you, son. Till the next time, find someone you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but mean it and show it. Why do I say that all the time? I don't know. Maybe it just sounds good, but I mean it too. We need to hear that sometimes. Hey, I love you. And then not just showing it. Love comes in so many different forms. One of my friends told me today about my love language, and my love language is being attentive. and a sense of urgency to things. And I had to agree. I was like, yeah, I like to be attentive. I get accused of, keeping my phone too close. I don't want to miss calls from important people. Of course, my phone is my business, and I don't want to miss any business for sure. But I don't like missing calls. And if you ever call me, I'm going to send you a text if I'm busy. And I don't know what that's about. I think, it's definitely a childhood thing, wanting to be heard and wishing I was heard even more. But it's okay. I'm all right. Y'all don't think I'm crazy, do you? Anyway, have yourself a good evening. I love you so much. And if you need me, I'll call you. By the way, if you'd like to chat with me, if you'd like for me to talk about a subject, I would love to do that. Send me an email to travisbridges2@aol.com. That's Travis Bridges and the number 2. Just say, hey, man, talk about this. I'd love to hear your perspective. Again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything but a guy who believes I have the ability to listen and not be biased. Maybe I have some biases, but for the most part, I believe in taking information, facts, proof, evidence, truths, and listening. You can talk to a person long enough, and, you cannot hide in time. You might be able to hide for a little while, but, the truth always finds its way to the surface. Good always outweighs bad. And if it's dark and the light comes on, the light must flee. No, the darkness must flee. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I've got my closing right here. I don't have any music tonight, but I'm going to say this. There's something about paths we take. And if you choose a path, no matter what it is, hopefully you do know right from wrong. You know good from bad. You know dark from light. You know good from evil. And if you have made a choice to do something, and you've examined yourself, you've examined your heart, and you know that that you are doing the right and the best thing, it's going to be tough, because how we feel, what we think, what we believe, what we really want and prefer is very powerful and very strong. It takes a very strong individual to look at the truth, even if it's going to be against you, and then side with what's right and what's best. But back to my point, if you know you have made the right and the best decision, regardless of what it is, stay on that path. No matter how many blocks, what do you call those things? Hurdles and brick walls you face. Stay firm, stay strong. What happened? Did something happen? Oh my goodness. I went off the air. Wow. Oh no. No, I'm not. Oops. I was looking at the wrong screen. Anyway, what was I saying? Stay strong. All right, I'm out. I'm going to go. Have yourself a good night. Take care. Love you. Good night.
SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, that makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone, but you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You gotta keep on searching, keep on searching, keep on the cool side. Keep on looking around.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for your love.